Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Please be seated. Jared, please take roll.
Mr. Petkowski. Mr. Bonarotti. Mr. DeMarco.
Here.
Ms. Filiaggi. Mr. Fatulis.
Here.
Mr. Grisbeck.
Here.
Ms. Hallam. Mr. Klein.
Here.
Mr. Macy.
Here.
Ms. Nacaretti-Chapkus.
Here.
Mr. Palmieri.
Here.
Mr. Paul Messina.
Here.
Ms. Pritzio. Mr. Walton. President Katina.
Here.
We have 13 members present at the moment.
Proclamations/certificates 13046-24.
A proclamation proclaiming May 2024 as Older Americans Month with theme of Powered by Connection, sponsored by Councilmember DeMarco.
I don't know how many folks know, but May is Older Americans Month. And because of Older Americans Month, we wanted to recognize that, but we also wanted to recognize the great work that's being done by the District Attorney's Office. So I prepared a proclamation for this, and joining me is Julie Capone from the District Attorney's Office, Dick Scringer, and there's Jennifer DiGiovanni as well from the District Attorney's Office. So whereas Allegheny County includes countless older Americans who enrich and strengthen our community, and whereas District Attorney Steven Zappala Jr. has for over the last 25 years directed time, talent, and resources of his office to providing a connection to the justice system with people over 60 throughout our region. And I don't know how many people know, but 19.7% of the population of Allegheny County is 65 or older. So we have, it's either the oldest or the second oldest population in the entire country of any county. So whereas the District Attorney's Project Lifesaver protects hundreds of older citizens with local law enforcement agencies and connects them to bring them home safely when they wander off and go missing. And whereas since its inception in 2015, the District Attorney's Fraud Squad has prevented over $35 million in losses among people 60 and over, with over 500 volunteers and thousands of in-person outreach connections annually. And whereas District Attorney Zappala also created the first special victims unit in the country exclusively devoted to elder abuse, staffed full-time with assistant district attorneys and investigators prosecuting cases of fraud and abuse of people aged 60 and older. And whereas the district attorney created the first and only the Senior Justice Advocate Program to support crime victims over 60 with a connection to social services, law enforcement, legal representation, and help finding justice as they navigate the courts. Now therefore it be resolved that I, Allegheny County Councilmember Sam DeMarco, do hereby declare the month of May 2024 to be Older Americans Month in Allegheny County, and I recognize District Attorney Steven A. Zappala Jr. for his commitments to serving the older adults in our communities. In witness thereof, I have heretofore caused the seal of the County of Allegheny to be affixed this 21st day of May 2024. Your turn.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Like Mr. DeMarco said, my name's Julie Capone. I work at the District Attorney's Office. Steven Zappala wanted me to let all of you know he's honored by this proclamation, and he sends his regrets he could not be here. I'm the senior prosecutor in the elder abuse unit, so he asked me to accept this proclamation on his behalf. We're truly honored that you gave it to us, and we're dedicated to senior citizens. We really are just honored that you would recognize that, and the work that we've done with our elder justice team. We have senior justice advocates headed by Dick Scringer, as well as assistant district attorneys. I'm the senior one, and then there's another district attorney, and we prosecute physical abuse, sexual abuse, and financial exploitation, as well as neglect in nursing homes. And we hope to continue this work as a team, and we know that the seniors need this work, and we hope our dedication that we've proven to you continues on so that the seniors know that we're looking out for their safety and they can live with peace of mind. So thank you so much.
Very good. Take this up. Okay. Jennifer, you want to join us? Okay.
You ready?
You guys get your bed a little bit. Keep coming and keep coming. There you go.
little more, keep moving.
All right. All right, everybody right here. All right. 1, 2, 3. Gotcha.
That's somebody's phone. I'm sorry. One extra.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Dick. Hey, Dick. Can you get hold Dick? How are you, my friend? It's good to see you. How are you?
The Roche for basketball.
Does it ever end? It's good to see you, Dick. Good to see you. Don't leave me.
Okay. 13047-24.
A proclamation congratulating Matthew Brown, CEM, sponsored by Councilmember Nakaradi Chapkus and all other members of council.
Good afternoon. So as many of you know, Allegheny County has a department called Emergency Services, which supports the people and first responders of Allegheny County through prevention, preparation, protection, response, and recovery from man-made and natural emergencies, as well as from acts of terrorism. And this department is led by Mr. Matthew Brown, who is standing next to me this evening. I'd like to read this proclamation recognizing his accomplishment. Whereas the International Association of Emergency Managers, IAEM, is a nonprofit educational organization dedicated to promoting the principles of emergency management and representing those professionals whose goals are saving lives and protecting property and the environment during emergencies and disasters. And whereas Matthew Brown, CEM, has this year earned recognition from IAEM by being among the group of professionals who have maintained their Certified Emergency Manager, CEM, designation. This is the highest honor professional available from the association, which has in its membership more than 6,000 emergency managers worldwide, representing professionals whose goals are saving lives and protecting property and the environment during emergencies and disasters. And whereas previously Mr. Brown qualified as a CEM by submitting an extensive credentials package giving personal and professional background achievements and a written examination. In order to maintain certification, he must continue a program of professional development over successive 5-year periods. Thus, this is an honor neither easily earned nor maintained. And whereas the CEM designation presented is held by 2,363 individuals in the emergency management profession. As a CEM, Mr. Brown demonstrated a high level of competence and ethical fitness for emergency management. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council Member Michelle Nakaradi Chapkus, and all members of council do hereby congratulate Mr. Matthew Brown, CEM, for earning this distinct recognition and highest honor of professional achievement. We thank him for his service, exceptional contributions to the community, and for his years of unwavering commitment to protecting the citizens of Allegheny County. Mr. Brown, thank you. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure, I'd be happy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm surprised, I'm humbled, I'm very thankful for the recognition. As I stated when it was mentioned to me, I'd be happy if you read it into the notes, and that way I wouldn't tie up your important meeting, but I am very thankful for the recognition by all means, and it certainly gives me an opportunity to highlight, the great work that Allegheny County Department of Emergency Services does for the citizens, the residents, the visitors of Allegheny County every day across the 4 divisions, whether it's our telecommunications officers and 911, our deputy fire marshals in the fire marshal's office, our coordinators in the Emergency Management Agency, and our instructors in the Allegheny County Fire Academy, all working aggressively every day to help keep everyone safe. But the focus really is on planning, preparation, and prevention, as well as the response and the recovery. Unfortunately, with the weather events, certainly President Katina I've worked with very recently with SBA declarations, and Mother Nature keeps throwing the curveballs. They don't stop. But it certainly highlights the necessity for us to do good emergency management, which starts with planning and preparation, and that's a responsibility that we all have, regardless. So again, I'm very humbled and thankful for this presentation to me today, but to be quite honest with you, I'm just doing my job. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Chief.
Take off no spandex today. All right, 1, 2, 3. Gotcha. You did, it's your fault.
Thank you, Chief.
13048-24.
A proclamation recognizing Alekia Buragata on her distinct recognition as a 2024 Coca-Cola Scholar, sponsored by Councilmember Katina.
Welcome to County Council. You're very welcome. So whereas the Coca-Cola Scholars Program is an achievement-based scholarship for graduating high school seniors, which recognizes students for their ability to lead and serve. And whereas less than 1% of applicants were chosen to receive this extremely competitive award. These 150 students who were selected from an initial pool of 103,000 plus applications from across the country not only exemplify superior leadership, service, and academics, they are change agents, positively affecting others in their schools and communities. And whereas Alekia Buragata, did I say that? Okay, very good, a senior at South Fayette High School, is among 150 seniors from across the nation who will receive a $20,000 scholarship and be honored during Coca-Cola Scholars Weekend on April 25th through the 28th, 2024 in Atlanta. And whereas Alekia was a 2024 Junior Achievement of Western Pennsylvania under 18 honoree for her dedication to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And whereas she is the founder and president of Women Welfare, a nonprofit dedicated to developing the skills of women in India through access to healthcare and education. She is also an emergency medical technician, and Alekia plans to choose pre-med as her pathway in college. Whereas Alekia's focus has been to do the best she can to help where she sees a need and to stay motivated towards her career goals. Alekia is a determined and true leader that is great at collaborating, and she feels being named a Coca-Cola Scholar is a dream. Now, therefore be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council President Pat Katina, do hereby commend and recognize Alekia Buragata upon being selected as a 2024 Coca-Cola Scholar and congratulate her for her dedicating her time, leadership, and effort to making her community better and making all of South Fayette better. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you so much for this amazing award and for being able to be recognized with Allegheny County. This is really wonderfully an honor, and I'm so thankful for all the Allegheny County is doing to be able to support students and individuals like me who are dedicated to improving our communities. I'd also like to thank my parents who are also present with me for the amount of support and the amount of guidance that they have given me to be able to achieve these amazing awards. And I would also like to thank South Ed and their teachers for being able to provide me this amazing opportunity and being able to really shine and give me this being able to get recognized here and all. So thank you so much, everybody.
You know, as they used to say, things go better with Coke.
The pretty people.
All right, everybody ready? 1, 2, and 3. Gotcha.
Congratulations. Congratulations to you and your family. Some folks that's awesome. Yeah. Just saying.
Bill number 13049-24, a proclamation declaring May 23rd, 2024 as Teen Mental Health Awareness Day in Allegheny County, sponsored by Councilmember Hallam.
Ready? Yes. All right, so today we want to acknowledge Teen Mental Health Awareness Day here in Allegheny County. We all know that since we were teenagers, well, maybe except Dan, since we were all teenagers, a lot has changed. And teens these days are opened up to so much, constant information on social media. The world is on fire, and it feels like everything is the biggest crisis we've ever seen, and it just keeps happening. So we really appreciate the work you all do, and I'm really excited to give this to you today. A proclamation declaring Teen Mental Health Awareness Day. Whereas Teen Mental Health Awareness Day aims to increase understanding of teen mental health as a part of well-being, enhance awareness of mental health resources, draw attention to inequities in mental health resources, and amplify the voices of teen advocates of PA Youth Advocacy Network and youth across the country. And whereas, according to Pennsylvania survey data, 31.71% of students surveyed in Allegheny County for 2023 have said their mental health has been poor in the past month. And whereas many schools face a shortage of counselors. This gap leaves students without support for their mental health, emphasizing the need for more counselors in every school. And whereas to combat these shortages, all school staff need to receive comprehensive training and have access to resources to respond to students' mental health needs. Students need spaces and resources to encourage positive mental health, like yoga classes, extracurriculars, and calming spaces to promote awareness about well-being. And whereas giving back to younger generations of students by educating them about mental health and resources through a mental health curriculum and peer initiatives can destigmatize mental health and equip the next generation of mental health leaders who are with us today. And whereas students need mental health days off from school to prioritize their emotional well-being and take care of themselves, emphasizing that mental health is health and your mental well-being is as important as your academic performance. And whereas communities must create an environment where all youth feel supported by acknowledging factors that create disparities, like stigma in communities, cultural mistrust with counselors, and a lack of culturally diverse providers, which can help us learn how to aid and implement representation. And whereas the LGBTQIA+ community has faced bullying, harassment, and discriminatory policies, which has had a severe impact on LGBTQIA+ youth mental health, with 56% of LGBTQIA+ youth who wanted access to mental health care being unable to get it. We need increased recognition of the issues the community and youth face. And whereas youth mental health is impacted by social media, making it essential to improve algorithmic safety, create internet safety curriculum in schools, and harness technology for social good by offering free app-based subscriptions to mental health services online. And whereas decades of stigma surrounding mental health, creating a need for commonality and acceptance to address the generational trauma built from years of silence, this foundation is needed to create an empathetic and youth-empowered approach to address teen mental health rather than resorting to punishment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council Member Bethany Hallam, do hereby declare May 23rd, 2024 as Teen Mental Health Awareness Day in Allegheny County and recognize the importance of teen mental health dialogue and policy. Thank you. I have proclamations for each of you, so if you want to come up and say some words, I'll give you each one of them, okay?
Okay.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you. Oh, hello. Good afternoon. My name is Layla King, and I am a current sophomore at Pittsburgh Kappa. And today I've been given the opportunity to share some words about what teen mental health and specifically what this proclamation means to me. Being a teenager is a very unique time in someone's life. You're still growing up and changing, but it's also combined with external pressures such as academic and societal expectations. During such an important period of development, it's important that teenagers have as much support as possible from family, peers, and institutions such as school. I myself understand how quickly mental health can worsen as a teenager. Usually my main focus is on excelling in terms of school and my extracurriculars, all in the name of preparing for my future, which makes it easy for mental health to take the back seat. Additionally, it could be hard to find the vocabulary to describe what I'm feeling, especially if I don't feel I have a comfortable environment to do so. And personally, I know the experience I've just described is not an isolated one. This is part of why this proclamation is so important, as it recognizes the needs of the youth. Those being the necessity of having school staff members who are able to fully support the emotional and mental needs of students, for there to be spaces in schools that encourage students to learn and speak out about their own mental health, and one of the most important to me, that all students, regardless of race, religion, sexuality, or gender, feel understood and cared for by their schools. Through this proclamation, Allegheny County is taking a very important step towards aiding its citizens and furthermore towards the betterment of its future. My fellow youth are the future lawyers, artists, scientists, and more, but in order to do so, we need to be able to sustain our drive and desire. That comes from taking care of ourselves, taking care of each other, but most importantly, having the adults in our lives do so as well. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Hi everyone, my name is Durini Maruthu and I am a junior at South Fayette High School. And I am a part of the PA Youth Advocacy, and we were honored today to help create the Allegheny County Mental Health Proclamation. This document emphasizes many different parts of mental health which often go underlooked. In fact, mental health in general tends to go underlooked as many people don't think about the stigmas associated with it. But that's why we helped to create this proclamation today. In the past, mental health, as I mentioned, was overlooked, and a lot of things have changed, but there are still issues that we have to mention today. There are still minorities who can lack access to mental health resources, and there are also a lot of schools that don't fund enough counselors and other things like that to help the students' mental health. Additionally, there are stigmas around going to mental health therapy and other things that help with our mental health, or even just talking about mental health. And finally, there are a lot of resources that people don't even know exist online and even just in the schools in general, which we want to help bring to the limelight. And we help to do so with this proclamation. Again, on behalf of the PA Youth Advocacy, we thank you all for the opportunity to discuss mental health and for officializing this proclamation, which will help to promote mental health on a wider scale, a scale more equal for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Janiyah Coleman. I'm a senior at PA Reach Cyber Charter School. Before starting, I would like to say having Teen Mental Health Day recognized is very important. Some people may not know, mental health is not seen as regular health, and it's something that goes unrecognized. Especially anything going through youth. Youth is most likely youth look past because we're young, and it's something that people really just don't know about. Mental health is dear to me. From my own personal experience, I have always struggled with anxiety, and for me, it always been something in silence. It's not talked about at school. I remember in middle school, mental health was not talked about. It wasn't until high school, it was just slightly talked about. But luckily, through the PA Youth Advocacy, mental health is kind of being talked about more and recognized. I hope that with this recognition, that mental health is seen overall as equal health, and that no one has to feel they're struggling alone. Thank you.
for a picture.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Okay, everybody ready? All right. Do you want to open up yours?
Oh, no.
That's okay. No, don't be silly. All right. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Gotcha.
Watch this thingy. Watch the corner.
A proclamation congratulating Linden Garden Club upon the occasion of its 100th anniversary, sponsored by Councilmember Klein.
Well, today we honor, recognize the Linden Garden Club, and I'm probably one of the least prolific proclaimers on council. So, you know, this is like a really big honor. I mean, it's, but just by way of recognizing the organization, a couple of things that I've learned. The first Women's Garden Club was actually created in Athens, Georgia in 1891. And really, the Women's Garden Club movement was something of an active rebellion, because there were a number of groups in this country that were, you know, dedicated to horticulture and botany, many as far back as the colonial era. But the problem was that there was an exclusionary clause in their membership. And of course, that exclusionary clause would not allow women to become members of those organizations. So women decided to form their own organizations, their own clubs. And I guess I would have said at the time that you don't really have to step up and do that right now, because if you just wait a little longer, men will screw everything up, and then, you know, you'll be running those organizations. But just by way of talking about the club, the organization, I am very familiar with the Linden Garden Club. I am a graduate of the Linden Elementary School. And that was a couple of years ago. And there is a big event that we looked forward to every year, and that was what was then called the Garden Market in Mellon Park, that has now morphed into the May Market, and I think now it's held on the grounds of Phipps Conservatory. So today I do have the honor of presenting this proclamation to the club, to the organization, and let me share this with you. So whereas the Linden Garden Club will be celebrating its 100th anniversary, having been founded in 1924 by Mrs. William H. Mercure for women who lived near Linden Avenue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And whereas the Linden Garden Club, officially known as the Linden Unit of the Women's Farm and Garden Association, hosts flower shows, luncheons featuring educational speakers, and organizes field trips for its members. And whereas, additionally, the club sponsors white elephant sales twice a year and provides support to various organizations, including Beechwood Farms, the Audubon Society, Tree Pittsburgh, Phipps, Pittsburgh Botanic Gardens, Western Pennsylvania Conservancy, First Tee, Pittsburgh and Parks Conservancy. And whereas over the years, the Linden Garden Club has held various programs in conjunction with its meetings, participated in exhibitions, and completed civic projects, which include the historical planting of spring flowers in the lobby of the Central Blood Bank of Pittsburgh, contributing funds for landscaping of the Nell Log House in Shenley Park, planting a ground cover garden in Mellon Park within the walls of the Mellon's original Renaissance Garden, and planting a spring garden at Western Pennsylvania School for Blind Children. And whereas more recently, Linden Garden Club has helped to develop the Daffodil and Daylily Walk in Mellon Park, partnered with First Tee Pittsburgh at the Bob O'Connor Golf Course at Shenley Park to beautify the surroundings, and participated in the May Market, And whereas today the Linden Garden Club is vibrant, diverse, or as a vibrant, diverse organization of members who share a passion for gardening, horticulture, and conservation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council Member Paul Klein, do hereby congratulate the Linden Garden Club upon the occasion of the 100th anniversary, and I wish future success to the treasured community organization. So, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm the president of Linden Garden Club, Abigail Cook. It's been a real joy to do this for the past 5 years. One of our partnerships is with Eric Amato, who you all may know, up at the Bob O'Connor golf course. And I encourage everybody to come up and visit us at First Tee. They're doing some wonderful work with kids, lots of scholarships available to any kids that are not here anymore. But we have a couple different areas that we support. And thank you so much to Councilman Klein and to the rest of you for this great honor. And come up and play golf. See the gardens. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I will do a photo op.
All right. Okay, everybody ready? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Gotcha.
The remaining proclamations will be read into the record. Go ahead.
13051-24 is a proclamation recognizing the 32nd Fallon Dafa Annual Celebration, sponsored by Councilmember Macy. 13052-24 is a proclamation recognizing the first responders, volunteer firefighters, police officers, public works, EMS personnel, and employees of Plum Borough who responded to the tragedy at Rustic Ridge last year, sponsored by Councilmember Nakaradi Chapkus and all other members of council. 13053-24 is a proclamation recognizing Paul H. Wayne in honor of his 40 years of exemplary service to the Boy Scouts of America, sponsored by Councilmember Filiaggi. And 13054-24 is a proclamation declaring May 20th, 2024 to be Bishop Marvin C. Moreland's Day in Allegheny County, sponsored by Councilmember Walton.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on agenda items?
We have one on agenda items, that is Aya Sazuni.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yas Hazuni. I'm a resident of Brookline. I'm here to talk because I am unavailable tomorrow, and I want to make my comments about the taxation for the property tax reassessment. Out of all the taxes that I pay, I like to pay the library tax, the property tax, and the school tax. And that's because I think these taxes are directly affecting where I live and what happens in my community. And there are some of the few taxes that are actually paid by everyone, whereas the rich usually don't pay taxes for the most part. So everybody will pay this tax, and everybody will be able to enjoy the community that we built together. However, there is one thing that I want to suggest, which is I am not entirely excited about sudden increases in how much I pay. So if there's an ability to add a clause that would say reassess the taxes, but increase the rate year over year until we reach an agreed upon percentage, instead of adding, a big step up from what we pay right now. So that at the end of 5 years, 6 years, we all are paying what the school districts are asking for and what would help our communities thrive more. That being said, I would love to see these taxes used more for parks, pools, all the things that my little daughters enjoy. And the summer is starting earlier, so I'd like the pools to open earlier, and the taxes would help pay for that. So I'm for taxes for property tax reassessment, and I'm for increasing the taxes incrementally, not all of a sudden. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
point of order.
Yes.
There was a gentleman by the name of Corey Dickey who couldn't make it here to speak, so if I had the indulgence of the council, may I speak for him?
Does anyone object?
It's an agenda.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'm a homeowner in the city of Pittsburgh.
Turn your mic on.
Good idea. It's Corey Dickey. He lives at 1223 Itkin Street, Pittsburgh, 15212. I'm a homeowner in the city of Pittsburgh. I will not be able to attend in person. Please implement regular, frequent, fair reassessments of properties in our county. We shouldn't need legal action to trigger this. The county is delinquent in its responsibility to implement property taxes fairly. When we don't reassess everyone frequently, the burden typically falls randomly on the few who can't or won't appeal in their property as selected. Those people tend to be the most disenfranchised among us, and in Pittsburgh is exasperating the racial inequality. Please bring back frequent, regular, fair assessments so that everyone pays their fair share. On behalf of Connor Dickey, I want to thank you.
Approval of minutes 13055-24.
A motion to approve the minutes of the April 24th, 2024 regular meeting of council.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Committee on Appointment Review for the second reading. Since all of these appointments this evening are essentially identical, if there are no objections, I'd like to have the clerk read all of the nominees and then have Ms. Nakaradi-Chapkus make a single motion to approve them all. Does anyone object to that?
No.
Okay. Go ahead then.
13008-24 is the appointment of Barada Bay. 13009-24 is the appointment of Blair I. Britton. 13011-24 is the appointment of Camille Williams. 13012-24 is the appointment of Guillermo Velasquez. 13013-24 is the appointment of Kenneth Iyer. 13014-24 is the appointment of Melanie Marie Boyer. 13015-24 is the reappointment of Roxanne Sewell. 13016-24 is the reappointment of Tim Stevens. 13017-24 is the appointment of Victoria Snyder. 13031-24 is the appointment of Kevin Jenkins. 13032-24 is the appointment of Brian K. Oglesby. 13033-24 is the appointment of Cynthia Oliver. And those are all to the MWDVE Advisory Committee, all for terms expiring on December 31st, 2028, and all sponsored by the Chief Executive.
Councilmember Nakaradi-Chapkus.
President Katina, the Committee on Appointment Review met on May the 15th and affirmatively recommended these 12 nominations. I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Any liaison reports this evening? Go ahead, Councilman Palmieri.
Thank you. Members of council, ladies and gentlemen, I had the privilege and pleasure of attending CCAC's commencement exercises last Thursday night, and at 7 o'clock over at Acrisure Stadium. We had about 2,200 students graduate from CCAC this year. I think not all of them showed up for their diploma that evening, but quite a few did. We had an absolutely glorious evening. It was just beautiful. And Mr. Sacco James Sacco is on the, he's on the Board of Trustees with us, and he also is Vice President of Steelers, and he takes care of the stadium and all the excess of extracurriculars that they do. So thanks to James, we had the opportunity to have it down there. And I just want to congratulate Dr. Bullock and the staff for turning out some wonderful, wonderful students over the years. And I still maintain we're the biggest bargain in the family budget, ladies and gentlemen. And please, if you have a student or young person that you know thinking about school, have them come over to CCAC and talk to the people over there. I'm sure they'll be impressed. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Anyone else this evening? Hearing no one else, we'll move on to new business ordinance resolutions. 13056-24.
An ordinance of the County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, amending Article 210 of the Administrative Code of Allegheny County entitled Assessment Standards and Practices, Section 5-210.09, entitled Certification in Non-Countywide Revaluation or Reassessment Tax Years, in order to establish a mechanism for prospective property assessment appeal filings. Sponsored by Councilmember DeMarco, Macy, Katina, and Filiaggi.
That will go to the Committee on Assessment Practices, 13057-24.
A resolution of the County of Allegheny amending the Grants and Special Accounts budget for 2024, submission number 03-24, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
That will go to the Committee on Budget and Finance. New business motions, 13058-24.
Motion of the Council of Allegheny County authorizing payment of invoices for extraordinary professional services rendered as a result of litigation involving Allegheny County Council as a party, sponsored by Councilmember Katina.
Thank you. This is obviously regarding the Schuman lawsuit. So Councilman Palmieri, would you like to make that motion?
Yes, please.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Please, any discussion?
Yes,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
President, I'd like to ask that we break for about 10 minutes or a short period for executive session to get an update on this litigation here from Mr. Frank.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
So we're going to go back into the back room for executive session. We'll be back in a few moments.
The problem is that door's locked back there.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry. See you next. See you later.
That was wonderful. I thought we were getting out of here early.
So we're back from executive session. That was obviously involving pending litigation. At this point in time, a motion was made and second. Is there any other discussion?
Okay, thank you.
Hearing none. Roll call vote, please, Jared.
On the motion to approve, Mr. Bekowski. Mr. Bonarotti. Mr. DeMarco.
Yes.
Ms. Filiaggi.
Yes.
Mr. Fatulis. Mr. Grisbeck.
Yes.
Ms. Hallam.
Yes.
Mr. Klein.
Yes.
Mr. Macy.
Yes.
Ms. Nacarati Chapkus.
Yes.
Mr. Palmieri.
Yes.
Mr. Palmasina.
Yes.
Ms. Pritzio.
Yes.
Mr. Walton.
No.
President Katina.
Yes.
Ayes 11, noes 1, with 3 members absent. The motion passes.
Public comment on general items.
We have 3. First up is Stephanie Waters.
I have materials to pass out to council members. Or should I give
I'll
those
take
to you? And I apologize, I only made 12 copies, so whoever's best at sharing, please do, okay?
At this point, we only have 12 here.
There's some people that know everything, so maybe
Here, there we go.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. One for each. And whoever wants to share. Just let me know when I can start, anytime. Okay. At first, I would like to request a meeting with council to further review the issue that I'm about to present. Within the packet, you'll find a letter that I sent to initially Councilwoman Parizio, who represents my district and my brother's district. I'm here to represent my brother Kevin Kevlovich, who passed away on January 5th, 2023. Also within that packet, you'll find the letter, you'll find the police report related to his death, you'll find the autopsy report, you also find a media guide that puts a face to the name as well as the legacy that my brother leaves behind. You also see a copy of the Looking for Kindness. It's a book that was inspired by the children that my brother had interactions with daily. They are all direct stories about him as a custodial janitor at an elementary school. I'm going to get straight to my action points as for the county coroner's office, and then if there's any further questions, like I said, I would love to take a meeting with you all. First is improved family communication. I believe there should be contact to the family from the coroner's office within 48 hours of receiving the deceased. Currently, communication only happens between the funeral home and the coroner's office as to when they can come and recover the deceased. I think there should be a family interview held in that 48-hour period with family or next of kin, and which includes a past medical history of the deceased as well as what happened to the days leading to their death. A second call should happen at primary autopsy once it's completed and explain next steps to family. Finally, at final autopsy, which sometimes is not given to the family until toxicology is completed, which is 3 months plus after their passing. Therefore, the family should be able to ask questions or clarification at anything in that written document at that time. My second action point is protocols. Currently, it's carte blanche for autopsies to the pathologist's discretion on which tissue fluid samples to send for testing and what is to be done in which time. I would also like histology to be completed at time of autopsy. They held my brother for 6 days, which is, he unfortunately became he started to decompose, and it was difficult for him to have an open casket. The right to a family to request grand rounds, and also the right for a family to have access to the meeting minutes, which includes, grand rounds includes all pathologists within the building reviewing complex cases such as my brother's. His bodily fluids and all of his solid organs were sent to the CDC because he did have viral meningitis, which is an inflammation of the brain tissue caused by a virus that could be a public health issue, especially with him working with children. For transparency, checks and balances.
If you could wrap it up, please.
Yes, an oversight committee to the office, that they make sure that the coroner is treating the individual based upon the pathology and findings on the individual and not on the statistics of the county. I look forward to speaking with you more on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Next up is Deborah Kavlovich.
Not here.
Not here. That was my mother. I didn't know that she got approved or not for her to be here today. Thank you.
And last up would be Ruth Johnston.
Not here. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm here. And I had something I also have a packet to pass to each person. Thank you. And these are there's 15 of them, so a couple of them will probably be left over, but. Okay. I'm here today to invite you to a one-day workshop and training, July 30th, 2024, in Butler, PA, about one of the benefits of creating an assisted outpatient treatment program for severe mental illness. You'll see in the packet that the workshop is for a particular angle on how AOT can be used to take care of low-level court charges that can be dismissed to AOT program care. In general, I think there's also a paper in your packet that has a general set of facts about assisted outpatient treatment. Basically, it's something that was not permitted in our state until in 2018. There was an amendment passed in the state law so that counties may now opt in on a portion of the law that permits them to set up an assisted outpatient treatment program, which is an involuntary commitment, but not to a hospital, instead to working with a medical team. And the key point that stands out from my family story and why I'm talking about it is that people are permitted to have this kind of commitment and treatment without meeting a standard for clear and present danger, which there are many people with severe illness that don't know they're sick and they aren't dangerous until, in my son's case, as you see in the letter, he suddenly was for just a couple minutes one day. But before that, had never been dangerous at all and continues in prison not to be dangerous at all. They don't know what to do with him. And an assisted outpatient program would permit a family to present all of the evidence of disability, misunderstanding, things like losing their car, thinking, they're thinking they're talking to aliens, not eating food, things like that, which right now, as the law is, it's not relevant. So, and I would just like to invite all of you who could come to this particular workshop at the end of July to learn more about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, motion carries.